A very good evening to you. It is the 12th of March, 2026. And once again, News Tonight is here to bring you what's making headlines. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango, and Namuyomba Dorothy is with us on sign language. First though, the top stories. Our headlines tonight: Uganda launches its first national migration policy. Uganda's e-mobility journey takes off. And with UR8 arrests fake officers. And into the news, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has tasked all government ministries, departments and agencies to streamline migration matters in line with the national migration policy to minimize irregular movement of people. The president was represented by the Vice President Jessica Alupo, who reiterated the significance of effective migration governance towards national development.
The government of Uganda, through the Ministry of Internal Affairs, has launched the National Migration Policy aimed at advancing migration governance and protecting human rights. The President, represented by the Vice President, Major Retired Jessica Alupo, underscored the contribution of this policy to national development.
When well managed, migration contributes to development through remittances, investment, innovation, labor mobility, trade linkages, tourism, knowledge exchanges, and diaspora engagement.
The President has tasked government ministries, departments and agencies to prioritize the incorporation of the migration policy in handling migration matters under their jurisdiction.
I call upon all responsible institutions to take full ownership of this policy and to translate its provisions into concrete programs, budgets, regulations, and measurable results. To the Ministry of Internal Affairs, I urge you to continue providing steadfast leadership in coordinating the implementation of this policy.
The launched policy is expected to enhance the protection of migrants and minimize cases of irregular migration.
Establishes a clear, predictable framework for managing migration, aligning.
Now, as we move ahead, Prime Minister of Uganda, Robina Nabbanja, has commended Spiro Uganda for adopting e-mobility, saying the move aligns with government efforts to position Uganda as a net producer rather than just a consumer of electric mobility services.
On Tuesday this week, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robina Nabbanja, visited Mulago National Referral Hospital as the medical workers celebrated the belated Women's Day. A number of issues were presented through her, requiring urgent government attention to address the plight of the patients in the #1 hospital.
As a result of limited staffing levels, the available personnel manage very heavy workloads, which affects service delivery.
This prompted the Prime Minister to urgently convene a meeting to find a solution. With now the specialized service the hospital is offering, the Prime Minister was informed that Mulago National Referral Hospital is in their need of 103 super specialists.
Right now, she has only 2 interventional radiologists, only 2, I think, in the whole country. We don't have a perfusionist. We don't have intensivists in intensive care units. Intensivists, you need to train 4 years, an intensivist. A physician, a specialist like me, but you go for another more years to be intensivist. So those are people we need badly, but we don't provide money to train.
Of course, we need nephrologists. These are physicians that take care of patients with kidney diseases. Some of them heal, others progress to end-stage renal disease requiring transplant. And many other specialized areas. So addressing this shortage, we need to recruit.
This, according to the Ministry of Health, requires funding of over 9 billion Uganda shillings. Now, the Prime Minister, Robina Nabbanja, has directed the Minister of Finance to prioritize funding for this recruitment.
Kakati ngenda kulagira bulagizi, write a letter now. Give us a soft copy of this. Ntekeko directive. Ojitwale, obagaye Prime Minister alagidde. Mulago, the recruitment of 9.07 is a must. You cannot talk about operationalizing this specialized tutademu sente nyingi. When you go there, you by
Yes, we do apologize. That was the story where the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robina Nabbanja, directed the Ministry of Finance to prioritize funding for the recruitment of super specialists at Mulago National Referral Hospital. Now into that story where the Prime Minister, Robina Nabbanja, commended Spiro Uganda for adopting e-mobility services. More in this story.
During the visit, the Prime Minister noted that although the country has not yet reached its ultimate target, the adoption of the e-mobility has already positioned Uganda as a net source of innovation by championing the national strategy of transitioning public transport to fully electric systems.
You are aware that Uganda now is a net exporter of buses. According to the ministry, they already have orders of over 700 buses. Now it has raised to 1,000. So you can see, and all those are jobs.
Nabbanja commended the company for its innovation, noting that the initiative has not only created employment opportunities, but also positioned Uganda to actively participate in the global transition to electric mobility instead of remaining mere consumers of such technologies.
Electric vehicle uptake, including progressively transitioning government fleets to electric mobility in 2035, is key. You are lucky, you people who are working here. You are very lucky. Count yourselves lucky.
The country. One of the things that drives me when in the middle of the night is all these children graduating. Where are they going to work? So it makes me very happy to come and find 300 of them here. They have jobs.
Nabbanja emphasized government's commitment to supporting such initiatives and advised the younger generation to apply their skills and innovation to help the country achieve its development goals.
The government remains committed to supporting innovation, industrial development, and partnerships that create jobs and opportunities to our citizens.
Also in attendance was the Minister for Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Monica Musenero, who emphasized the importance of using science, technology and innovation to solve national problems, develop local products, and help the country transition from poverty to prosperity.
For long we have relied on imported internal combustion engines, vehicles, and these vehicles were made outside our country. And because of that, it led to a massive drain on our foreign exchange. Right Honorable, looking back at what we have been able to accomplish over the past 5 years, I sometimes wonder why we didn't think and change earlier, because we would have saved a lot of wealth. So in the financial year 2024-2025 alone, Uganda spent over $862 million in vehicle imports.
Although the project still faces challenges such as limited battery substations, the Deputy Country Director at Spiro Uganda, Bruce Muchunguzi, remains optimistic that by 2030, the company will have achieved significant milestones.
We look forward in this year, 2026, to deploy an additional 1,250 substations by June and 2,500 substations by the end of the year. This will enable the deployment of an additional 50,000 motorcycles in the remaining 9 months of this year, and the possibility of seeing that to fruition is this plant.
Charity Marion Imnat and Ivan Juko report.
Now, officials from a government tax collection body, the Uganda Revenue Authority, have arrested a group of people accused of impersonating URA staff and extorting money from members of the public. The suspects had been posing as URA officials and collecting taxes from citizens despite not being employees of the authority.
Over the years, many Ugandans and officials at the Uganda Revenue Authority have complained about individuals impersonating URA staff and collecting money from taxpayers, although there had been little evidence to support their claims. URA officials had earlier warned taxpayers to be cautious of people approaching them demanding tax payments and advised those involved in the fraudulent activities to stop immediately. However, the system has persisted. Authorities say it is unfortunate that some individuals from security agencies, which are expected to help URA fight such fraud, were among those arrested. Some of the suspects were found wearing uniforms belonging to the Uganda People's Defence Force.
In front of you here, we have individuals who have been impersonating officers of Uganda Revenue Authority. They were arrested in Katovu near Lyantonde after conducting fraudulent enforcement activities targeting business operators and members of the public.
Those arrested include Odong Samopio and Asume Frederick, who had allegedly been using the name Agaba Frank while collecting taxes, sometimes moving with individuals dressed in military uniforms.
This has been a very big problem that URA is fighting against, imposters who put on our uniform. You can see that many of them have been having our identity cards. Please, you should give me your identity card. You move from identity card here. Give it to me. They had identity cards. Then these are forged identity cards of URA. They had reflector jackets with the URA logo.
According to Kalumba, the spokesperson of URA says the arrest followed a complaint from a taxpayer who raised an alarm after people claiming to be URA officials demanded tax payments related to his clothing business.
The group is still large out there, and the intelligence team of URA is on the hunt for them.
He has now warned Ugandan taxpayers to be vigilant about individuals claiming to represent URA and encourage them to pay taxes directly through official URA offices, such as the authority headquarters in Nakawa.
The Central Police Station in Mitoma District is currently holding 4 top district officials, including the Chief Administrative Officer, Nachityo Joanita, the Chairperson of the District Service Commission, Tugume Sam Karakuza, and then the District Health Officer, Mugisha Sadik, and the Senior Education Officer, Nabimanya Richard. They are accused of allegedly selling government jobs and extorting money from job applicants during the recently concluded ongoing local government recruiting exercise in Mitoma District.
The State House Anti-Corruption Unit recently conducted investigations into government officials accused of selling government jobs and extorting money from applicants.
This team from the State House Anti-Corruption Unit is not in this district accidentally. They must have been either reports or invitations from the stakeholders because of the situations that have been prevailing here in the district.
The investigations reportedly found that some top leaders in Mitoma district were involved in the practice.
We have people in the custody that you saw, and these are big people in the district, from the Chairperson Service Commission, the COW, and others. Of course, we had information from the residents about extortion. And of course, sometimes us, like me, the RDC and my team, we don't have that investigative capacity.
During the operation, the team arrested the Chief Administrative Officer, Nachitio Joanita, the chairperson of the District Service Commission, Tugume Sam Karakuza, the District Health Officer, Mugisha Sadiq, and the Senior Education Officer, Nabimanya Richard. It is alleged that Tugume Sam Karakuza, the chairperson of the District Service Commission, extorted money ranging from 7 million shillings to 25 million shillings from 23 candidates, promising them government jobs. Authorities say other suspects may also be involved in similar cases.
Extortion, like you said, I have been given a report from the team, and the extortion is, there is evidence of extortion according to them. From these people who have been arrested.
While at police, Mugisha Sadiq, the Mitoma District Health Officer, denied the allegations against him.
All of these are fabricated cases against some of us because of our competence, try and compete in the exercise that has been taking place. Where some people in this country who feel they have to own Uganda have decided to do what you are seeing here today.
Nabimanya Richard, the Senior Education Officer, said the arrest was influenced by politics and the ambitions of some individuals.
I'm not worried because these have been happening. These are politics of Mitoma. Before I assumed this office, of course, most of the people never wanted me to be one. And of course, when I entered, they continued with their missions and ambitions, and that's why we are here. We don't know why we have been arrested.
The Mitoma District Deputy Resident District Commissioner Umar Muhanguzi condemned the alleged practice of selling government jobs and extorting money from job applicants.
Now, as a district, I think this is an eye-opener to even those who think that they are innocent. And I believe, as a representative of the president, for us, we are very happy that these people have come to Mitoma to clean up.
He further revealed that Owarimpa Estai parish chief, who allegedly extorted about 18 million shillings, together with the OC3 chairperson of Kashenshero sub-county and Oliver Twesije, are currently being sought by authorities. He encouraged all individuals who paid money to the suspects to come forward and report the matter to the relevant authorities.
But if we are to help this country, we should promote zero tolerance to corruption. You come, apply, even if you don't have money. If you don't get the job, fine, but you don't really promote this corruption.
The State House Anti-Corruption Unit will, after the completion of investigations, transfer suspects to Kampala to face the appropriate charges in court.
Now, members of Parliament have called for the effective implementation of the recommendations contained in the Auditor General's report, urging government MDAs to translate audit findings into visible actions. Now, legislators say failure by government entities to implement the recommendations should attract serious consequences.
The Public Accountability Committees of Parliament, including PAC Central Government, PAC Local Government, and COSASE, together with representatives from civil society organizations, convened for a meeting aimed at reviewing and understanding key findings from the Auditor General's report for the audit year ended December 31st, 2025.
Thank you so much.
During the meeting, it was revealed that the Office of the Auditor General conducted 6,875 audits, including financial audits, value for money audits, and procurement audits. The report highlighted concerns about government entities incurring varying costs on common user items, raising questions about procurement efficiency and cost control.
24 value for money audits, or sometimes they are called performance audits, and other specialized audits in specific areas, namely information technology, forensics.
The report also indicates that several government entities continue to request for funding beyond what they could use. This, according to the Auditor General, often leads to other critical institutions missing out on the required funding, hence affecting service delivery to Ugandans.
Out of the 3.3 trillion so far released, there was $500 billion that was undisbursed to the parishes, to the circles, okay? and yet it had actually been availed by government. That there was disparity in the cost of construction per square meter. We give some numbers here, ranging between 3.7 million and 5.27 million.
Although legislators commended the Office of the Auditor General for its work, they noted that more still needs to be done. They emphasized that audit findings should play a stronger role in informing and shaping government budgetary processes.
Observations by the auditors is a problem, to the extent that even when you're carrying out an audit, when you're looking at the audit queries, when you see the observation that they have given, you just know that this is this auditor. How do you handle the issue of these officers of yours?
Big interest in ensuring that every ministry concentrates on its core mandate. That is why when you look into the audit, you have the structure of the audit. And one of these is outlining the core mandate of the ministry. Why should the Prime Minister construct roads?
Challenges such as understaffing in the public service, increasing domestic debt, and partial implementation of government projects were also highlighted as per the report.
I was speaking to the understaffing. We also take note of the areas of health, education, and the office of the DPP. We have many judges, we don't have prosecutors. So we need to actionable points when it comes to the budgeting for the financial year 26-27.
Gilbert Cholanya, chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee Local Government, represented the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among.
Over the years, we have received assessment of financial accountability. It is gratifying that the Auditor General has increased focus on value for money audits and other specialized audits such as engineering, information technology, forensics, and oil cost recovery audits.
Members of Parliament urged the Office of the Auditor General to do away with lukewarm recommendations to government MDS found at fault, rather implement firm measures that ensure accountability and compliance.
The finding is glaring, it's an offense committed, the law is quoted, but the recommendation is very soft.
Rebecca Natongo, Stephen Kalisha for UBC News.
The Mityana South Member of Parliament Richard Lumo has withdrawn the Administration of Parliament Bill 2024. The controversial bill sought to change the method of electing the leader of opposition in Parliament, among other changes.
The Administration of Parliament Bill 2024 was tabled in October 2024 by Mityana South legislator Richard Lumo. The private member's bill was highly controversial, with the majority of stakeholders objecting to its contents, especially the order of electing the leader of opposition in Parliament.
I'm here to move a motion to withdraw a bill entitled the Administration of Parliamentary Amendment Bill 2024.
In the course of tying up the loose ends, the 11th Parliament unanimously agreed with MP Richard Lumo to withdraw the bill.
In the process of considering the bill, there was convergence by almost all witnesses, including the Attorney General, that the object of the bill was at odds with the known principles of the Westminster parliamentary system. Since we are people-centered legislature, we are duty-bound to be responsive to the views and aspirations of the masses.
The turn of events raises concerns as to whether Lumo succumbed to pressure.
First, I have read the report. I read the report and I found that the report was altered. There were certain things in the report which I didn't want. Secondly, I was informed that the bill is on the order paper a little bit late. I could not prepare myself well.
The move by Parliament to collapse the Administration of Parliament Bill 2024 retains the earlier position created in 2006 that the leader of opposition is elected by the political party with the second majority of MPs in the House. However, the Speaker of Parliament proposes for a comprehensive amendment of the same act.
And that comprehensive amendment should be brought in the 12th Parliament. We should not bring it in piecemeal.
Lumo had stated in the bill that the current operations of the leader of opposition marginalizes other parties in the opposition, including locking some of the members out of the consultation processes.
Yeah, maybe that's what I was talking about, to say balance it up. If you want leaders on one side of parliament elected, let's have it cutting across. Let all the leaders, and maybe for us, we probably would have said, okay, that's okay. If you want the leader of opposition elected and the leader of government business also elected, both shadow cabinet and the other cabinet elected, we would say, okay, maybe that's worth discussing. But when it is one-sided, it's problematic.
Most opposers raised concerns that it could demean the opposition in the House by fueling division and diluting accountability. They further asserted that if passed, it could also abuse the spirit of checks and balances.
So it is not wrong. Even when you don't like an individual or an entity, you cannot make a law targeting an individual or a party or that kind of thing, because the tides can change.
Madam Speaker, I heard the Attorney General advise very well when he was there, and I also got an opportunity to visit and interact with all political parties and other stakeholders. Madam Speaker, most of them were not in favor of the bill which I had moved, except a few.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
The Ministry of Local Government has revealed plans of conducting Local Council 1, 2 and Women Council elections end of April 2026, and also revised their emoluments. Now, while chairing a Thursday Parliament session, the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Mong, said that government has for some time been denying the public a democratically elected Local Council 1 and 2. Let's hear more in this report.
Madam Speaker.
Parliament has sat Thursday to handle a lot of business, including bills brought by private members, still pending in the 11th Parliament, since it is soon transiting to the 12th Parliament. In her communication to the House, the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Mong, also gave timelines for sectoral committees to handle ministerial policy statements. Member of Parliament, Chiboga East County, Chiwanuka Kefa, raised an issue of national importance about the elections of LC1s and 2s that have been postponed 6 times over insufficient funds.
That Cabinet had directed that money can now be released to conduct the elections. And the timetable was given as being conducted in March and April. Madam Speaker, because of the anxiety, public anxiety around this, can we have confirmation here from the ministers concerned whether the money has now been released?
The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Mong, said the public has been denied democratically elected LC1s and 2s.
Elected LC1s. And ECR said we are going to have election in March and April. Could we have that confirmation if we are going to have elections? And remember, ECR had said they had received the funding. So which shortage are we talking about of 58? What is the shortage about? And if the shortage is there, as the Honourable is saying, that was approved by Cabinet, why are we not releasing that money?
State Minister for Local Government, Victoria Rusoke-Businje, told Parliament that elections for LC1s and 2s and women councils will be held end of April.
This House, that the elections of the LC1s and 2s are not only LC1s and 2s, but also the women councils were properly scheduled and okayed by SEC, which you chaired, Right Honourable Speaker, when the Minister of Local Government presented, and this information has reached all the districts, and there is no doubt that we shall vote by end of April. Yes, excuse me, the dates have been confirmed.
The leader of opposition, Joe Senyonyi, reminded government about its pledge to compensate business people who were affected by the floods in Kampala end of October last year, emphasizing that this problem persists.
Has lost merchandise, plenty of money went down the drain. Government committed that they are going to compensate these business persons up to the tune of about 20 billion shillings. Those business persons up to date ask, did government lie to them?
I beg, Right Honourable Speaker, because the learned leader of opposition was not specific, who in particular made this commitment such that my office can be able to communicate, because you are...
The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Mong, told the Minister for Kampala, Hajatmin Sakabanda, to produce a report on Kampala floods and compensation of business people Tuesday next week. I'm Nafka Farida and Gloria Gwitabinji at Parliament.
Well, thank you both. Now, the Turkey ambassador to Uganda, His Excellency Mehmet Fatih Ak, has called upon people to extend support to vulnerable communities beyond the holy month of Ramadan, emphasizing that helping others is a sign of love and humanity.
The spirit of Ramadan was full on display at the Islamic University in Uganda's Kampala campus as students, residents and community members came together to break their fast at a dinner organized by TICA in partnership with the university. The event, which attracted over 150 participants, highlighted the importance of compassion, charity and unity during the holy month. TICA's ambassador to Uganda, His Excellency Mehmet Fatih, who attended as the chief guest, urged Muslims and well-wishers to continue supporting vulnerable groups, not only during Ramadan, but throughout the year.
Ramadan reminds us to share not only our food, but also our kindness, our compassion, and our blessings with others. At iftar tables, families, friends, neighbors, and guests come together and, regardless of their background, rich and poor, young and old.
The rector of the Islamic University in Uganda Kampala campus, Dr. Ismail Jagenda Sembatia, welcomed the initiative, noting that such partnerships help support students and the surrounding community while strengthening international cooperation.
Here at IUIU, TICA has also had special projects that they've worked on. They've trained our staff on 3D technology. They have donated lab equipment for our microbiology labs. They have also extended equipment for our leather tailoring workshop.
The director of TICA said the initiative is aimed at promoting solidarity and strengthening relationship between Turkey and Uganda through community engagement.
It is not only a celebration of faith, but also a reaffirmation of our shared commitment to cooperation, peace and sustainable progress.
Uganda's ambassador to Turkey, Nusrat Tiperu, commended President Museveni for fostering strong international partnerships that have enabled continued collaboration between Uganda and Turkey in areas such as education, trade and cooperation.
The relationship that exists between our two presidents is that of brotherhood. And whenever President Erdogan sends me to President Museveni, he says, "Tell my brother." He never calls him by his name, an indication that they share a strong bond.
Rebecca Nantongo, Susan Nabugude for UBC News.
Now over to Owino Market. The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Taiwa, has dismissed allegations circulating on social media claiming that he was involved in the demolition of part of St. Balikudembe Market, commonly known as Owino Market. Now located in Nachivubo area, Taiwa, through a post on his formerly Twitter account, explained that he obtained a lease for the land in 2018, but later the Kampala Capital City Authority informed him that the land would be required for city use.
In the night of 7th March 2026, a section of St. Bali Kudembe Market, commonly known as Owino along Sabana Road, near the Nachivubo channel was brought down. However, the demolition was reportedly done without authorization from the Kampala Capital City Authority.
Ensonga mu kooti lwaki kubanga wano waliwo obutali bwenkanya okusinziira ku tteeka bwe ligamba.
Since then, different traders and members of the public have been making accusations about who could be behind the act, with some claims spreading on social media. Among those mentioned in the involvement was the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, who has since publicly denied the accusations.
Besides that, omuntu gwogenda omuwaliza otuuka ku ground no verifying nti wasaba tewali aliwo oba yayinawo development y'okumuconsideringa. Mu kulaba okwange ekindabikira ng'ekitaakolebwa, so tuba tukyali awo tulaba abajja okusurveyinga ne tubabuuza muzzenga baani era mwagala ki, lwaki musurveyinga ekizimbe kyange. Ko bo nti batusindisa naye abasindise tebamwogera. Nekinkakatako okufindinga out. Nenda okufindinga out bandekera plot number nengenda kusaakinga nendaga ki kyapa bakirizinga balizinga mwami Honorable Tahebo.
Thomas Tayebwa, through a post on his X account, clarified on ownership of land around the Owino market and the recent demolitions in the area. The post read, "I have seen various social media posts and received numerous inquiries seeking clarification on my alleged involvement in the recent partial demolition exercise around St. Bali Kudembe Market, commonly known as Owino Market, particularly since one of the affected plots is said to be registered under my name. I wish to state the facts clearly and categorically. It is true that I obtained a lease for a plot in Nachivubo area in 2018. This was done through the formal and legal processes available to any citizens. I applied, followed the stipulated procedures, and paid all requisite fees like anyone else. When I subsequently submitted the building plans for approval, the Kampala Capital City Authority, KCCA, informed me that the land was required for their strategic activities and public purposes. KCCA then offered to compensate me, and I accepted their proposal. KCCA went ahead and took possession of the land approximately 3 years ago. As a result, I no longer own the said land and hold no interest whatsoever in it. I have no legal claim, control, or involvement in that plot today. Consequently, there is absolutely no basis for me to evict anyone or participate in any demolition on land that does not belong to me. The recent events around the market are unfortunate for the affected vendors, and I sympathize with their plight, but I have no connection to the demolition of that night. For those suggesting that I acquired this land due to my current position as the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, please note that I obtained the lease in 2018 long before I assumed this role, and a time when I held no ministerial or an office that could influence such transactions. I remain committed to transparency and the rule of law. Thank you for your understanding. However, some of the property owners and traders operating in buildings near Owino Market and Nachivubo Channel say they suspect the incident could be a strategy intended to force them off the land.
Muliraanwa azimba omwala aleese tractors atandise okubomola ewange. Ng'era mabegako ko bantuukirirako nga boogera olulimi lwe sitegeera mbaga kamala okwetegereza yana abuuza era asaba bino bisinziira ku ki. So ebikolwa ne bivaamu okulaba nti batandise, in fact n'ebiseera ebyo nali nagattako portion wendi nengattako nekola extension awaali resource center y'essomero nengibapangisaako mu mateeka nenteekawo skilling center era yebadde erwaningawo ng'ogasseeko ne lockups ezibaddeko amaduuka.
Amwaye Vanjuko.
The National Resistance Movement Party, NRM, has endorsed Tebako Jime Prince as its guild president flag bearer in the forthcoming Makerere University elections, flagging off their candidate this Thursday afternoon from the NRM Secretariat. Now, the party's Deputy Secretary General Rose Namayanja emphasized the need to reclaim the old glory of Uganda's ivory tower.
Makerere University will head to polls on 9th April 2026 for the 92nd Guild Leadership Race. In the spirit of laying the grounds, the NRM Secretariat has unveiled Tobacco Jimmy Prince as its candidate for the Guild President race.
When NRM wins in Makerere, it sends a great message.
While presiding over this event, the party's Deputy Secretary General Rose Namayanja has tasked the team to go and be torchbearers at the Ivory Tower.
I want to request you to be united. Part of what has helped us to win many seats in Parliament is cohesion. So I'm requesting you to remain united, to have that cohesion, and to have trust for each other, and know that it's not his victory alone, it's your victory, but most importantly, it's victory for NRM.
Namayanja emphasized the need to reclaim the institution's old glory, which has lived for years through nurturing different leaders.
Even just as Secretariat alone here, many of us, our Secretary General was part of the students' guilds in Makerere. I personally contested there for guild, later I was a guild minister, and if you ask me, the birth of my political journey is at the university. The Honorable Mao was a guild president in Makerere. The Honorable Dongo Toes were leaders in Makerere, and many other people. The Honorable Frank Tumwebaze, there are many, and right now Honorable Bura. So when we say that students' leadership molds national leadership, we mean it because we have gone through it.
Robert Onyango, UBC News.
At 44 minutes past 8 o'clock, we're going to take a short break and return with our business segment. Stay with us.
So, Muchara.
Yes, Daddy.
You know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight. Huh? For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later. Huh?
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get Momo goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165*80# or use the Momo app.
It's back, bigger, and with more business opportunities. It's the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo, Poate 2026, Uganda's flagship tourism event. Poate 2026 will take place from the 21st to the 23rd of May 2026 at the Speak Resort Convention Center, Munyonyo, under the theme Wanderlust. It's your time to thrive. Yes, it's your time to tap into Uganda's renewed optimism and tourism growth. Tourism stakeholders, travel trade partners, and tourism enthusiasts will be part of the Poate 2026. Come and network with like-minded people and unlock new business opportunities. To participate, register at www.poate.co.ug. Poate 2026 is brought to you by Uganda Tourism Board and partners.
Welcome back from that short break. Now, as we move ahead, traders in Kampala whose businesses were destroyed by the recent floods have appealed to landlords to grant them several months to recover as they struggle to revive their businesses.
The traders said due to continued heavy rains that fall almost every day, several buildings in the city center have been affected by flooding.
Unfortunately, due to poor planning of these buildings, have caused natural disasters to them. Their capital is perishing away. So we are calling upon all the concerned parties, all the concerned organizations to come in these issues. We have here airlines, we have here embassies where these people have been doing business with them. So we call upon whoever.
Among the affected buildings at Total, Policel and Makerere, where traders say water entered their shops and destroyed merchandise worth millions of shillings. The situation first became severe in October 31st, 2025, when heavy rains caused water to flood several buildings downtown Kampala, leaving traders counting huge losses. Last Friday, the rain returned, leaving workers on the lower floors of buildings stranded as water filled the corridors of shops. Many traders could only watch helplessly as their goods were destroyed.
Don't strike, don't strike.
Business leaders in the city now blame the increasing floods on poor planning by the city authorities.
That we are experiencing a lot of disaster, for example, floods in Kampala, but those who are concerned, they are not concerned at all. So we cry out and we call upon the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the fountain of honor, who has all the directives to look into the issues of the traders.
Leaders explaining that lack of proper drainage planning is worsening the flooding in the city.
Zimbe kye bazimba wano mu Kampala ekiriko ebbaluwa ya Chairman w'erosi wano kyekiriwa. Bwakireeta wano ku kyalo kyange nga kuliko ebbaluwa muwa million 2 mwezi.
Nze ngamba nti kino ekizibu ky'amazzi bano bayinginiya bandibadde basooka n'okusibwa.
Some traders also accuse certain property owners of constructing buildings in natural waterways, which they say blocks the movement of water storms.
I'm appeal to the executive committee, to the technical team of KCCA to come up with a proper solution to the floods, and also my call to the government of Uganda to consider building a central market for the people of Iganga municipality.
Traders calling for better planning in drainage systems. The traders have now appealed to landlords to give them several months without pressure for rent so they can recover from the losses and rebuild their businesses.
We call upon the landlords to come on the same table to help these people in compensating them, like giving them 6 to 7 months so that they can stand again on their feet and raising their capitals.
Former parliamentary candidate Susan Kushaba says she is saddened by the situation facing traders and condemned what she called unfair treatment by some wealthy property owners in the city. She cited the recent demolition of stalls in Owino market shortly after traders had suffered flood losses.
Affected Kampala city. It is because Ham constructed the drainage system without consulting the consultants and the engineers to see that they make a good plan for that drainage.
Meanwhile, some traders and leaders have also responded to the accusations against who has previously been criticized over the developments near the Nachivu Board channel.
Okugamba nti nga emyala bwe baba bagizimba wano mu Kampala bandibadde bateekayo ebigoma nga binene bulungi.
Bino ebigoma byataddemu singa banamaliriza okuzimba owamukwana akedi n'amaliza baduleke lubega n'ona bamaliriza ebizimbe bibazimba ekintu mbazi tugera kifuma bufumi omusajja abadde azimba.
United Nations, UN Women and Uganda's Securities Exchange rang the bell for gender equality, rallying the corporate Uganda to embrace women's empowerment principles and whips 10 guidelines committing firms to boost women in leadership.
Ring this bell as a call of action for the private sector and government of Uganda and all development partners that women are part of the development process. This is a bell for action.
The event targets companies signing WEPs voluntarily, pledging measurable action, equal hiring, mentorship pipelines, supplier diversity favoring women-led businesses.
WEP serve as a major mechanism for private sector contribution to the gender equality objective of the 2030 Agenda and the Sustainable Development Goals, especially SDG 5. I commend the CEOs that have signed on the WEPs.
Uganda's women hold 48% of population but lag in the money markets. Female investors at 27% total signals an imbalance in participation, with young women between 25 to 34 dominate new accounts.
So the question is, how do we turn justice into action? Justice without action is like a bell that does not ring. Action transforms promise into progress. At the Uganda Securities Exchange, we are committed to turning words into deeds. We promote financial literacy and investor education for women, ensuring they have the confidence to make informed decisions.
Several women at the event had testimonies to share about the day's theme.
The Corporate Gender Accountability Network will further strengthen transparency and accountability by helping companies track progress and demonstrate measurable results in implementing the WEPs.
Jobs give women income, independence, and choice. They allow families to invest in education, health, and the future.
Various reports show that women tend to reinvest a higher percentage of their earnings into their families, supporting health, nutrition, and education compared to men. Therefore, it is imperative to support their inclusive by committing to the women's empowerment principles.
About what we want to do and also finding mechanisms of how.
Are you looking for a home away from home? Then this is the place for you. My name is Chini Kaji, and welcome to Hotel Le Confidential.
With 84 comfortable rooms where you can relax and feel safe. Each room has a lovely view of green vegetation, Wi-Fi, air conditioning, and a tasty breakfast.
Children can have fun at our kids' water park and our kids' play area. You can also enjoy our world-class health club, spa, sauna, gym, boutique, and sky blue swimming pool.
Thank you for choosing Hotel Le Confidential, where every stay is unforgettable. Come and stay in comfort, right at home, today, tomorrow, and always.
In 2024, Uganda recorded 37,000 new HIV infections and 20,000 AIDS-related deaths, a situation that calls for collective efforts if the country is to achieve its target of ending AIDS by 2030.
Somebody infecting another person. So there's no way you can say men cannot be infected, only women can be infected. So from the simple fact that people can infect one another, there's no logic in saying that only women should test. It should be everybody. It's just logical.
Together, we can end AIDS in Uganda. Every second counts. Let's act now. This message is brought to you by Uganda AIDS Commission, Office of the President.
And into the world of business, the National Social Security Fund is partnering with the union, and it has commissioned 1,000 ambassadors who are going to deepen on the message of saving, and this will be happening in the informal sector. The team passed out a UMA Mall at UML Mall, that is UMA Mall Gogo, will target boda riders, taxi drivers, truck drivers, bus drivers, small business holders, market people, among others.
Commissioning the over 1,000 Smart Life Savings Ambassadors was the State Minister of Finance for Investment and Privatization, Honorable Evelyn Anite. In her remarks, echoed her admiration for the informal sector as a reliable building block to Uganda's economy. She appealed to the informal sector to embrace savings for a secured future.
So today, the 1,000 of you whom we are flagging off to save your money, I want to tell you you're saving for yourself, not for NSSF. Nobody should tell you the money is for NSSF. It's your money. The money is yours when you're not able to walk properly, when you're not able to ride that boda, when you're not able to drive that taxi, when you're not able to drive that mugulkumi, you will be using your money to enjoy your retirement.
Currently, the union stretches over 137 districts of Uganda, and under its umbrella are boda riders, taxi operators, among many. These people fall under the informal sector, with the daily income earnings usually hand to mouth. Under this NSSF Smart Life Zukuka campaign, the commissioned savings ambassadors will move the entire country, encouraging these people to embrace savings culture for short and long-term benefits.
Olwaleero tiimu eyo tugitadde egende mu ba boda mu ba taxi yonna ebayigirize engeri y'okweterekera ate otereka ozirabako ku ssimu yo nga n'amagoba ofuna buli mwezi. Kuba gavumenti yatuyamba n'ekyusa etteeka lya NSSF naffe bamufuna mpola baddabo zedi netuwa enteekateeka eyaffe osobola okutereka mu mwaka gumu myaka ebiri myaka esatu ate ekirungi ekiri mu nkola eno otereka NSSF ekuwa n'amagoba.
Whereas efforts have been made to encourage many to save, savings culture is still quite low. As a result, NSSF now believes the commissioned savings champions will trickle down this message to the grassroots level.
NSSF thought it very important to have a special focus, a special product that can work for the informal sector and hence the creation of the Smart Life product. But we understand that as NSSF alone, we can't do it. So this is why we need partners, and we work through key partners like today, the union.
Crispus Arinitwe reporting for UBC.
And into the world of sports, the Uganda under-17 national football team intensified preparations for the forthcoming 2026 Africa Under-17 Cup of Nations with a training session held at the Fufa Technical Center in Jero.
And this is my first day in camp, and the training was good. We managed to qualify for the AFCON. It was in Ethiopia, Sekafa. Now our coaches, they are trying our level best to give us the best so that we can manage to qualify for the World Cup. And we promise that they're going to qualify for the World Cup because we have the good technical team, and they are doing the best.
And the training wasn't bad. The coaches are trying their level best to see that they give us the best. We managed to qualify for the AFCON level in the qualifiers that were in Ethiopia. We fought, we gave in our all to see that the team qualified. Then we qualified, so now we are looking forward to the AFCON. We shall give our efforts, see that we do better.
And that's all we had time for. Thank you once again for hanging out with us right from 8 o'clock. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango, and Dorothy Namyomba has been with us on sign language. Let's pick it on from there at 10 o'clock.